advising your staff council. So Rest Hall Staff Council is a group of volunteer leaders amongst you guys, and what I call, and some may not agree with me, but I call them the kind of student government of ours. And so they advocate for you guys. We hold a general assembly every other week, and one of the big pieces, you'll hear a little bit about that a little bit later, but one of the big pieces about staff council is we share money. And so with all of the talk about programming and advertisement, all of that comes with a budget. And so we're going to talk about teaching you how to funding of them. All right, so staff council, student leader designation. So we have president, vice president, our treasurer, who you'll be hearing a lot from. We have an opening actually for our
development and banquet chair.
Our development and banquet chair. And if you'd like to plan events as well as do some development, please let us know.
Shameless plug, you do developments for the RAs at every General Assembly, about 30 minutes long, so every other week. And you also get to plan the decorations and the theme and food and everything else involved with our end of the semester banquet. You have to meet with me weekly, so sorry about that. But there's other fun things, and I'll give you a budget to play with, so
yes. So that was, I wasn't ashamed about it anyway. So if that's something that you would like to do, please let us know. And we are the advisors of the Residence Hall Staff Council. So we want to get you your money. So how many of you, and this is going to be a real quick activity, but I want you guys to get up. We're almost at dinner, but we're going to get the blood flowing. So Wildcats, that's a thing, right? How many of you love your Wildcat? Okay, so
you're a sophomore, we're glad you're here, but we don't like you.
In the year of 2016. Okay, all right. 2017. Ooh, these are some of the saddest Wildcats ever. 2017. Let me tell you, the sophomore Wildcat is really my favorite Wildcat. It really is. Like, I know people have some feelings about it, but I love it. All right, 2018. Hey. 2019. Yes. All right. So when you do your Wildcat, you know what that means, right? You know what all that entails because it's kind of linked on to where you are. So what we're going to do is we're going to link something so you'll understand where your money comes from, what you can do with it, and how it works. So there is approximately 29. Did I make that number up?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's good.
So what I need is 3 sections. I need 7 people all the way over this far side, 7 people here, 7 people here, and maybe a straggler around there. So let's move. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go! Yes, we need 7 people in each section. Not including grads.
I don't know, some of you might need these.
All right. All right, team 1 over there, how many you got? 7. Team 2 right here, how many you got? You have no idea.
7.
Math is hard.
You got 7.
Yes, you got 8, cool. All right, so everybody pay attention. All the way on the far side, we are going to call you Rodder Funds, okay? And that means Dr. Rodder, and he has some funds. And so, Dr. Rodder Funds, your call will be Rodder! Can I hear it? Rodder! Yes, all right. So right around here, we are going to call you the Staff Council Funds, okay? That means that all of the money that you're going to be dealing with is coming right from us. And your call is going to be Staff Council. Can I hear it? Staff Council. Yes. All right. So right over here, and as you can see, there's a couple of more people over here than other ones. You're going to be representing our hall councils. Okay. So your call is going to be council. Can I hear it? Yes. All right. So calls real quick. Now, these funds you can utilize for programming. You can also utilize it for a couple other things. But there are some things that you need to know about Rider funds. Rider funds you can only use with a Pro card. That's a university credit card. You cannot be reimbursed with Rider funds. So if you use your own money for a program and you want the department to reimburse you, that's a no-go with Rider funds, okay? Also, anytime you want to use Rider funds, you have to put in what we call a PA. And basically that is a document showing what you're going to use these funds for, how much you're going to use them, and that has to go through your GHD or CD.
A PA stands for Purchase Authorization. So for you logical folks in the crowd, you have to be authorized to make the purchase, so you submit the PA to receive the authorization to make the purchase. A little overly logical, but there it is.
There it is. There it is. All right, so that's Rider funds, okay? So, quick question about Rider funds. Let's say I just need to run out. I got my program together. We already got the funds, but I forgot something at the store. I'm just going to go out to the store real quick, swipe my card, get the stuff that I need, ask Rider to reimburse me for those funds. How is that going to work out? Negatory all day long. I'm just out of those funds, or I need to talk to somebody else. All right? So, thank you, Rider funds. All right, right here, staff council. Staff council funds, you get a set budget with it on the 12th day of classes. And that is funds that you can use for programming. You all can also use this for bulletin board supplies and door deck supplies as well. There are two ways you can get these funds. You can go to the store, pay your own money, put in what we call a check request, and we'll talk about that, and we will reimburse you. You can also put in a cash advance. Let's say you don't have any money. We get paid once a month. Around the 25th, I'm a little short. And so I may not have money to go out and pay for this, so I want to put out a cash advance. That means that we will give you the cash. If you put in a request and you use that money to go buy, but you need to know some things about that cash advance. You will need a receipt, itemized, and we'll talk about that, and you must have this back to us at a certain amount of time. So, two ways to get the money. Both ways you will still need authorization from your bosses, but it's a little bit different. And there's only a set amount of money for that you will know ahead of time. All right? So, that is staff council. Yes. Hall council. Hall council is straight collaboration. You cannot tell the hall council that you're going to use their money because it's not your money. But because we are all one big happy Res Life family, you can collaborate with the hall council to do programming together and talk about who's going to be funding what. Now, what that means is if you're going to be planning with them, you can't plan a program and then have a budget and then ask the hall council if you could use their money. That's something that you want to make sure that you're planning together. All right, so we have all three, correct? All right, so with this, the reason why we're doing this is so, one, you can understand why we're going over this again. One is when you put in paperwork, it has to be right. We want to make sure we're getting you your money back or your money at all. And with this, little things can be deal breakers. So when we go through our, you can have a seat. Thank you. I don't know, stay in your sections, but you kind of see. Little things can be huge deal breakers when it comes to paperwork. And so when you put in a check request for SOFC, that means that our SOFC is our student organization financial center. It's our own student organizational bank. And so when you put in information to them, there's a process. And so going through a check request, sometimes it can take a couple of weeks before they can even process and get that money back to you. So tacking on an additional 3 days, 1 week, just to get the paperwork right is pushing your money back. And I don't know about any of you, but I love my money. And I don't necessarily like waiting on it after I spent it when the department said they were going to give it back to me. So that is why we are doing this.
Okay, I'm going to walk you through a page, how to fill out a check request, okay? Make notes, things you need to make notes on. What to fill out and what not to fill out. You could literally do 2 columns on your paper if you want. You guys need to come back and grab pen, paper, whatever. You can do 2 columns. What to fill out, what you don't ever touch. Cool? So, wait, wrong way. That way. Alright, so this is the new check request form. Okay? Cities, GHCs, we have updated this as well for y'all to know. So, this is a sample form. This will be on our shared drive as cities and GHCs. We can get you this form, so request it from your city and GHD. First things first, put your name right there. Okay? Any questions so far? This is hard-hitting stuff. Okay? Next, your phone number. This ain't so we can creep on you. For those that are worried about that, there's something wrong with your form. SoftSeed did not approve this. There's a questionable purchase on here. Yada yada yada. That's what they're gonna use to contact you. Okay? Mailing address. Why this is important? Because you have 3 options of how you can receive your check. Okay? Phase 1, mail to payee address. Okay? For me, I spent money and got reimbursed through SoftSeed. I used my P.O. box, but I'm hooked up with the post office over here beside Northgate. So basically what will happen, SoftSeed will process my request. 2 to 3 weeks later, I get a check in the mail, I'm all good. Okay? That's option 1. For those of you that don't have a P.O. box on campus, that kind of setup, if you put your home address, that is where the check is going. I know that's logical, but it's happened in the past where RAs have put that address. They're not going home until summer, and they put this request in January. That money's sitting there, that check's sitting there until mom or dad or whoever does something with it. So you're stuck without the check. Okay, so keep that in mind with who you're having it mailed to. Next option, pick up at SoftSeed. So basically, we'll submit this form. SoftSeed will use this phone number right here. They will call you and say, hey, we have your check. It is available for pickup. You go to SoftSeed and pick up your check. It's usually a little quicker turnaround through the mailing process. Okay? Next option, and this is the one we encourage. Nope, go ahead. Direct deposit. This is not your direct deposit that you get paid for as an RA. We'll be clear on that. What you get your paycheck with, this is not that. You have to fill out a separate form. Bring those? No? We'll bring some forms with us during one of the meals tomorrow. If you sign up for direct deposit with SoftSeed, your check will be, like this process becomes very much quicker than how quickly you get checks.
1 week.
1 week. Okay? I wasn't joking about SoftSeed takes some time to process some things. We're usually pretty good about getting into SoftSeed, but they are the organization finance center for all of campus. All 1,000 some odd organizations get funded through this bank. So it takes a little time. 3 weeks is about the turnaround for a check to be made. About 2 weeks for one to be picked up there, direct deposit a week. Okay? If you're going to be an RA for more than this semester, I know several of you are freshmen who plan on hanging around for a little bit, this thing is good as long as you're a student here. Okay? So I highly encourage y'all to do this because it helps us out, because it helps you out, because you're not angry with us, because it's taking a while for you to get your monies back. Cool? Questions so far? Alright. I guess it is on both sides. I don't know side. Okay. Next. You're a TANU student. Okay? I know you work for the department. We're very happy to have you here, but you are a student first. You will hear that from now until the day you graduate. As long as you're an RA, you are a student first. So apply that mentality here. Okay? You fill out no other section on this except for TANU student. Cool? Righteous. Your UIN. Self-explanatory. 9 boxes. Go in your UIN. Okay? Alright. If you're a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident, check mark yes. Okay? If you are not, doesn't mean you can't get funding. All it means is you need to attach a copy of your visa or your passport. Okay? And attach a copy. What that means for us, you're going to scan it, have your copy, paperclip that onto this form. Okay? Does that make sense? Cool? How many of y'all actually have any familiarity with the check request form in SOFC? Okay, this is where so SOFC has their own check request form. This is the staff council check request form. This is specific to us, this is specific to y'all, okay? And this is how it differs. This whole section right here, payment information, okay? So you understand how staff council operates. Your CD or GHG is actually in charge of your budget for your hall. Staff council, though, is in control of the budget from the standpoint of we distribute the funds and we are the ones held accountable for when our funds are not accurate, okay? So if you do something wrong, if FHK does something wrong because I misallocate funds, I have actually put the entire organization and the rest of the halls at risk for losing money because of a mistake we made, okay? So that's why we have some safeguards in place. One of them is this section. So hall, this is important because, as Liddell said, after the 12th class day, which is the official day of whether or not someone is here, actually a student at the university or not, we distribute funds. So the number of residents you have in the hall determines how much money you get, okay? So that's how we track it. So if I get a check request from FHK, we deduct that from that part of the budget, okay? So this is very important that you put this here because there's 160, 70 something RAs. Sorry, we will probably remember most of y'all's faces because you're a pretty small group. You get the bigger group in here, it's kind of hard to keep track of all the RAs. So if we don't have a hall attached to it, then we're backtracking, we're wasting more time for you getting your money, okay? Supervisor initials. As I said, CDs, GHGs are the ones that approve these fundings, okay? If we do not sign off on it, you do not get suspended, okay? It's not us being harsh, but it's our, like I said, if we mess up, we have now jeopardized everyone. We have risked locking out our account with SOFC so no one gets funded, okay? Reason for expense. Sorry, this layout got jacked up somewhere between here and there. We need a brief description of the program. I do not need an essay format of 3 separate paragraphs of transformation before, after, and during of the student and their development. No, I just need to know what you spend money on, why you spent the money, when the program was, okay? So one example, you guys will learn about ERACE soon, if you haven't already. It's our Diversity and Social Justice Committee, RAs for our department. They have a program facilitation called Nacho Visibility. You provide the stuff for nachos, they facilitate a program with that, okay? So I bought nacho ingredients to facilitate Grace's Nacho Visibility program on December 4th, 2015, okay? Short, sweet, to the point, all right? I spent $60.84. So that went on food, and that was my total, okay? I will tell you with this section, I personally had some issues of figuring out what fits where sometimes. Obviously food is food and not food is not food, but figuring out what office supplies are versus, I don't know, clothing, we'll go with that. Do not get too nitpicky about what you fill out in this section here, okay? As long as the totals, this section here, as long as the total matches what you have above, you're good, okay? So don't like have a panic attack of, I don't know if this is going under membership or if it's rent or which I have no idea why we would ever get reimbursed for either of those things. You know, there's that. And as all else fails, go with other expenses, okay? Just make sure the total matches up. Any questions so far? Okay, the earth-shatteringness is about to happen. Don't do anything with any of these sections, okay? Got it? Nothing in any one of those sections. Let's clarify. Like we said, we're student org. You are not the student organization leader, not yet. In case one day you decide to become president or treasurer of staff council. But we are a student organization. The only two people that can sign that line are our president and our treasurer, okay? The other one is staff advisor. Adele just told y'all, we're the only 2 advisors, okay? So your CD or GHG doesn't need to sign here either, all right? Does that make sense? The rest of it should be self-explanatory. SOFC use only, SOFC notes, and then SOFC signatures, okay? None of us are saucy. All right? Cool. A lot of the stuff we're trying to tell y'all is because a lot of your current RAs, the vet RAs, these are some of the mistakes we were dealing with last semester, and we've honestly been dealing with for a couple of years. So you can be the first group to not make any mistakes with your check requests. Feeling a lot of confidence. All right, cool. Let's see. All right, how to take a receipt. Your receipt, tape it with Scotch tape. Okay, the clear Scotch tape. Don't use duct tape. Don't use masking tape. Scotch tape. Okay. All your hall offices should have this. Okay. If they're not, tell your CDGHD. We get the stuff for free. We'll hook you up. Okay. Make sure the receipt shows a zero balance. The receipt should prove you paid what the balance was. Okay. The difference between a receipt and an invoice is the invoice shows how much you have to pay, but not that you actually paid. Okay, it just shows the bill. The receipt proves there is nothing left to be paid and you actually paid that amount. Cool? This is my little tip to y'all. SoftSync wants to take on two sides. I'm encouraging you to take all four sides. Seal that receipt to the paper means that receipt will not come off that paper. Because you're going to put this in our staff council box. Liddell or I will get it, sign it, we'll give it to Nick, the treasurer. Nick's then got to hoof it over to Coldest to turn it into SoftSync. It's got to go through some hands at SoftSync. That's a lot of people to touch that piece of paper and still have that receipt firmly attached to the paper. So if you do all four sides, you're guaranteed for it to get there, okay? Just my little personal trick. And the receipt is longer than the front of the page. You can fold it in half, but pay attention to what you're folding, okay? A lot of stores right now are doing those surveys and that kind of stuff, and all their contact information and their mailing address. You don't really care. You know where the receipt was to, and that shows everything you paid for, itemized, meaning it shows plates cost $5.99, cups cost $4.99. Like, it needs to be itemized with everything you bought, and it shows the balance. Okay? Does that make sense? Cool. Do not tape over any important information though. SoftSync will peel the tape off the receipt once they get it and they're processing it. If you taped over the balance, pull that tape off, the balance went away, oh no. Okay? Does that make sense? We're good?
And I'll just encourage you, don't tape over any information, even if you think it may not be important, because what happens when you turn it in, it may sit in our box over the weekend, or it may sit in our box in a couple of days, and that tape will eat straight through anything that's printed on that receipt. So don't tape on anything. Tape on the sides and on a little margin, but don't tape over any print.
All right, that's the end of the check request. Does anyone have any questions on that?
All right, so really quickly, we talked about check requests. So how many of y'all remember y'all calls? Oh, we ain't let go of it. We still on there. Okay, so you guys, will you be using check requests? If so, give me your call. Good job. So, rider funds, no check requests. Staff council, will you be using check requests? I gotta hear the call. Yeah, y'all gonna learn me. Y'all gonna learn me. All right, so over here, hall council, will you be using check requests? Okay, so
Short question.
yeah, it is. It really is. So if you come together with your hall council, they can do check requests. They won't be doing this check request. So good job on not doing it, but you will do a check request through SoftSync. So good job. All right, so cash advance. Remember, this is when you put in a request to us and we give you cold, hard cash. You spend that cash, you bring us back some receipts. So things to know. If you don't want to be reimbursed, if you don't want to take that lag time of getting back a check, you can do a cash advance. But understand that just like you don't want to wait on your check, we can't wait on last minute cash advances. Cash advances go in at a certain time, and we pick it up at a certain time, and we'll connect with you to actually give you that cash. So there is going to be some planning to get a cash advance. What happens happens is you will have to contact your CD or GHD to put in a cash advance. The cash advance, you can fill out the form, and I'll show you that form in a minute, but you cannot send that form directly to us. We have to have approval from your CD and GHD in one of the boxes on our request form in order for us to even look at it. Why do we do this? And this is even for the check request. If you want to do a program and you say, you know what, I really want to make this big. My residents deserve something large. I've had this dream ever since I was in high school to be an RA and doing this program. And so I'm going to go out and I'm going to spend $500 on this program. And you do it and you come back, you put in a check request, but you didn't get approval for anybody. It's going to be real hard. And I'm talking about Moses. Hey, Moses, it's going to be real hard to get $500 back from Moses Hall in a check request, because we don't have $500, okay? But I could have told you that if you would have just asked me ahead of time, and I could have just said no, and nobody's $500 would be going out in the wind. So approvals are not necessarily to check anybody, but it's to make sure that everybody's in alignment, everybody's on the same page, and nobody is just throwing money away. So on Mondays, your CD or GHD will send, before Mondays, they'll send us the information. That means that you have to get that information to them before that Monday. What we'll do is we'll get all of our information together. Me and Josh and our treasurer will go to SOFC on that Wednesday and pull the cash. After we pull the cash, we will get with you or your CD or GHD and give them that cash advance, unless there is some kind of agreement with all of us that we'll give it directly to you. So once we give you that cash, you have to go make your purchases, and we need to know when your shopping date is. Okay, if your shopping date is on Tuesday, we will need you to get that information in the Monday before. Not the Monday before that Tuesday, but that week before. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay, cool. So this is the cash advance request form. Real simple, but we want to make sure that you're getting everything in here. So, your hall name. So, Moses Hall, that's my hall. Moses Hall, right on there. FHK. Hobby Neely. Depending on how your GHD or CD does their programming, they may want to put Hobby and Neely, depending on how they're going to work it out. Yes?
That's your name, right?
Oh, I lied. I'm sorry. My name, yes.
Your name. That's the RA doing the program.
Yeah, this is my name. So, what's your name? Abigail. I love that name. If Abigail wants to do a program, her name will go right there, first and last name, okay? Because I have Abigail and Moses as well. And so we want to make sure we select Abigail. Hall name. You are from? Hobby Hall. All right, so put it in Hobby Hall. Amount requested. And so we want to know how much money you actually want to get. Not necessarily how much money you think you want, the amount that you have discussed and agreed upon. When's your shopping date? This we need to know so we can make sure that we're getting your money on time. Name of the program, date of the program. Now, why is this important? One, it's 5 o'clock, and so I'm going to make this real quick. If you have a program in 3 weeks, we may wait to get that cash advance to you because we can only have cash out for a certain amount of time. And so we may send it back and say, can you hold off and we'll get this to you during that week. The description. We always need to know what you are purchasing, what you are buying, so we can make sure that it's in compliance with the department and with SOFC, because there are some things we just can't spend cash on or money on. What is being purchased? We need like literally an itemized budget. If you're doing natural disabilities, we want to know that you're actually doing chips and cheese and forks and plates and how much they are going to cost. And then right here, that box that I told you about, that only your CD or GHD can check, that box right there is it. So if we get all of this fresh information, but that box is not checked, we will send it back just to make sure that the CD or the GHD is in the know. Any questions?
just to reiterate,
Yes.
you guys may be asked to fill this form out because there's a lot of specifics on this form that the person doing the program should know. You should be the expert on what's gonna happen with your program because you're doing the program. But this must be sent by the GHD or CD, okay? Cool, we've had more than one issue with this past semester where RIs would email us directly. Didn't have an issue with, there was communication between them and their GHD or CD, but it is not our authority as advisors to the organization to determine what you get from your hall. That's your GHD or CD. So once we have verification from them that you are approved to spend money, get money, we will push it out. But we have to have that piece. Cool?
You had a question?
So can you combine cash advance with check request? So let's say if you take out $20 and end up spending $25, so can you claim the $5 after you spend it?
Absolutely, as long as it's something that your GHD or CD is in the know of.
We'll probably work through you on that, work with you on that, because if it was $25 from one place, you only have one receipt. So we may have to work through us and work through Saucy to figure out how we're gonna duplicate that receipt, so that Saucy will stay separate.
Any other questions?
If something like that happens, should you just ask for a second receipt from the person?
You could try, some of them may get a little, they may not be able to accommodate you on that. You can ask them. But honestly, with us, if you communicate what's going on, and we're in the know, and you see DGH, you're in the know, we'll figure out a way to make it work. It's when we get the surprises after the fact, and people are trying to do kind of shady stuff to push money through, and we get a little reluctant. So, and to clarify that too, going to the other side, if your CD or GHD only approved you for $20 and you want to do $5 and you do a check request, you can still do the check request, attach the receipt, and the total you requested back can't be $20. We'll have to, letting us know that that's going to be a thing, because Saucy will ask us, why are you not asking for the full amount back? You weren't approved for the full amount back. So we can tell Saucy that, and they'll still process it, but we just need to know if that's the situation. Cool?
All right. Any other questions about cash advances? All right, so one last time, we give you the money. You go buy things, you bring back the receipts and the change. Hello, bring back the change. So, with that receipt, if you don't spend all the money, we gotta take that money back to Saucy. You can't just pocket it like, oh, don't worry about it. No, we need to worry about it. That's a real thing. We will get all the way shut down by Saucy if we do not get that money back in. We must have our check request reconciled within 5 business days. This is why the time and the shopping days are really pivotal. And then we pull all cash on Wednesdays and must have everything back to Saucy. So, everyone understand how that works? All right, one last time, looking at who's going to use cash advances. No. So, riders only purchase authorizations with the Pro Card through your CD. But I like to hear it though. All right, staff council. Yes. All right, hall council. As long as it's with the hall council and you're making that decision together, they can pull a cash advance, but it will be through their account. So not our account, but theirs. So good job. All right, so thank you guys. Any last?
One thing about the cash advance, this is not a first come, first served thing. If we get the cash advance from every single hall on campus, and we'll say there's 2 RAs per hall asking for 2 separate cash advances, that's fine. We're gonna pull one large lump sum, and we'll start doling it out to your CD or GHD, and then it'll be their responsibility to make sure you get yours, and then your partner gets theirs, okay? So don't think we only give one cash advance out. We'll take the lump sum and get you your monies, okay? Cool.
All right, thanks and good.
Yeah.